Back in March of this year, 2020, it was clear that we needed to take a decision and be brave there and then to begin to plan for what has now become our hybrid Congress, so that we allowed an element of face-to-face, but therefore we also had the backup plan, if you like, for a virtual Congress as well.
And we started to brainstorm. If we can't do that, what do we want to do? And how do we want it to feel and look for our members and our stakeholders? And that really started to lay out some thinking that we wanted to maximize the engagement and the involvement of as many members and stakeholders as possible. We knew that it had to be hybrid. We represent the face-to-face meetings industry, international meetings industry. We needed to make face-to-face to the degree we could, safely and appropriately. So that was also there. We also knew in this completely uncertain time, we had to be completely flexible to change on a dime at any point throughout this. And we wanted to make sure that our attendees had the control over how they wanted to experience this event.
We decided to really transform an event which reaches our community, because they all are facing extraordinarily challenging times. We need to connect our members worldwide through the digital format. Having said that, we want to create the regional hubs. Given the local health protocols and the possibility, we want our members to engage. Yes, it could be smaller numbers, but having said that, most importantly, we want to encourage face-to-face meetings in the most possible regional hubs. And also we want to showcase to the local governments that we need to restart soon in order to bring our industry back into the normalcy. So that's the main objective of having a virtual format and a hybrid. Of course, hybrid, our host destination is Kaohsiung, and they'll be hosting the Congress there. In addition to that, the regional hubs where different parts of the world where our members cannot travel, but they can meet within their local community, share knowledge, share best practice.
So we knew we had to design an event that could reflect all of that and come together. And we also knew out of that we needed to redesign our event, and that we were going to need help building a team that could make that happen for us.
We went through a design lab exercise that essentially allowed us to really hone in on the organizational business goals and objectives, as well as really what ICCA wanted, what kind of Congress experience ICCA wanted to give to their delegates. And through that work and those exercises, we were able to come up with a strategic event framework for ICCA. And then once we completed that design lab, developed that event strategic framework, we then went into the task of literally laying out what that program would look like over the course of several months. It's really exciting. We've developed kind of a hub and spoke hybrid model with virtual offerings and face-to-face offerings, which hopefully in the future can be an example that other associations that are affiliated with ICCA could implement.
Collectively with the board of ICCA, we decided that a 6-week period of engagement would be the right way to go. And we've been able to create that over time. So 6-week period with weeks of interaction with those that were registered for the event, and creating an experience which would be meaningful for both a live audience when that happens, and for a virtual audience, which is obviously, or a digital audience if you like, which of course is very different. Both have a similar trajectory, but important is to create an experience for all participants to the event.
We knew we needed to have associations at the core of the event, not only to attend in large numbers, but also develop sessions with them and for them. We wanted to demonstrate what a hybrid Congress can offer to associations, and develop a sort of blueprint and template for them to use in future. But at the same time, we also wanted to create this bridge between associations and our ICCA member suppliers in this time of disconnect, where people really didn't have the opportunity to network and meet with each other.
This year, there were many different groups of stakeholders involved, such as my team and colleagues, the hubs, a production company, a design company, and a board of directors task force. So I divided this big group into smaller ones, for example, an education task force or a group that focuses on the marketing. I made sure that we have regular meetings, deadlines are kept, and that everybody was informed at all times.
So we basically started looking at the concept from previous years and picked the elements that we want to keep. So such as the President's Choice session, as the Copenhagen Denmark lectures, the elements that we want to keep and use that as a starting point, and then started to grow the concept step by step, which then grew into the 6 weeks Congress experience. So what is the key to developing and handling this program is very strict timeline and a clear communication with all the stakeholders that are involved in order to create a holistic concept, and the constant communication with all stakeholders so that there is no assuming necessary with the plan.
We had an ambitious project, and with multiple platform and registration categories, so that we had to be quick and adaptable when it came to slightly change processes, and also when it came to the website, we had to maybe use some of the features for different purposes in order to accommodate our all our programs in different time zones.
This year was of course very different to our previous years, and we actually started with the objective to create a completely different look and feel for the event. So we used a lot of video content, and we used the support of our members to act as ambassadors to help us create a buzz for the event. We also built a completely new website as well as platform for this Congress, and we try to implement new networking opportunities.
As an event organizer, I like to interact with people, be on the show floor, see everything in action, and coordinate on site. Therefore, the challenge was that I was not even able to travel short distances to any of the local hubs or to the studio of our production company in the UK. We had a lot of new players involved, and I told myself, never assume they know everything and know how we want this Congress to be. I also did a lot of what-if scenarios and plan Bs, and made sure everybody was well informed in advance. But in the end, I had to trust the production company and the teams at the hubs. But passing on this control in certain respect was definitely not easy.
It's very great for ICCA and Kaohsiung City to make a decision to make this Congress, continue to happen this year. And I think it's very important to have this event at this moment to bring back our voices to the world.
The biggest value for us as a destination was to literally use, to get involved with the sector again, to understand what the sector looks like right now, and to be on the forefront so that we can actually go back and learn from that and use that as an experience, but also a knowledge exchange.
To be part of the history of ICCA, because this is the first time ICCA is doing a hybrid event all over the world, was a unique opportunity, was a value-added thing for the city, because we need to show not only that we can do events, even if the situation is like it is now in Spain and in Europe, but also that Malaga is a safe destination and we can have any kind of event with the regulations, with the safe regulations and norms.
One of the biggest values that Riyadh is becoming one of the host hubs, I think the amount of information, the amount of knowledge that we can introduce to the stakeholders in the MICE industry. We understand that it's a difficult time with COVID-19, but I think with this type of engagement, it's making a big value for the stakeholders in the industry.
I met over 50 person over the period of 4 days. So every day I met like 10 people and I sat with them for between half an hour and 1 hour during lunch, during networking session, and I benefit a lot. And I said what I want to say. I participated in the event positively.
If all of us are scared, then the whole world is going to stop. Somehow it has to start with me, it has to start with you, it has to start with all of us, because the industry plays a big role in building our economies all over Africa and all over the world. Technology is there, but we cannot replace technology with real meetings, face to face. My biggest motivator was to meet industry players, to network, to understand the transformation message that ICCA is pushing. So I was looking forward to meeting, professionals in the MICE industry, ICCA family, everybody who is here and all over the world.
I was really motivated by sharing the experience, to see and live that the events are possible, and it's so nice to be here with real people, not with a screen, which is amazing.
Well, one of the really great highlights of this Congress was the support of politicians. We really made an impact in all the different hubs, which have attracted leading politicians in the cities and from the local governments. This is something which we have never achieved, and it's a positive sign for our future of the meetings industry.
I think we've been able to achieve something which was really important: engagement, a world-class program, speakers from the outside, where Merit's Global Events was able to provide advice on speakers to ask, and then bringing in our world-class partners, the RPG, create a platform for everybody to engage in. So yes, I think we have achieved what we set out to do and what we needed to do.
With the hybrid concept, we were able to confirm speakers that the live event we might have not been able, or with a purely live event, we might have not been able to confirm, such as Bob Vijay from Microsoft and Salman Khan from the Khan Academy. So that's very exciting for me as being responsible for the program.
I'm really proud of the fact that despite a very short lead time and limited resources, we were the first one in the industry to organize a hybrid congress with 8 hubs around the world and a virtual audience during a global pandemic.
We did exactly the right thing in kind of breaking the time-space barrier and offering a 6-week program that people could jump into and jump out of at their leisure and how it fit their calendars, as well as building out on-demand content that people could access anytime they want. I think that was great.
We've succeeded in our goal, which was to offer something new and different and really engaging for our audience.
It's been a great learning for me, for my board members and colleagues, and for the whole ICCA team to be part of something so daring, so new and so brave. So we will certainly take that into the future.